Hello everybody, welcome to our new Let's Play. This one being the finale of the marathon of the Pro Skater games. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 on PS4. Yep, I'm actually doing it now. And I'm just muting the audio right now to get rid of the music, so I have no copyright bullshit in the front of all this. I'm going to be showing off the tutorial and the tutorial and also the creator park, because I might as well. And as for creator skater, I don't quite know how it works right now, but I'm going to show off all the skaters. Got Tony, got Riley, his son. We also got some skaters I've never heard of, like this guy, Nija. Fucking her and Jaws and Ishod and David and Liz. I don't know who any of these people are. I know who Chris Cole is though. Chris Cole is from fucking skate games, so I know who he is from those games. And he's actually pretty cool, so. And we also have Reynolds, because we gotta have him. He's the best. Andrew is a great character. Also, we got all these random people like King, Little Wayne. Okay. We got a rapper in this. We also have Tyler, of course. And we have a TMNT Ninja. Of course we do. So we have some weird skaters here. Some Easter egg ones. I'm guessing they were added later on. But we are going to be playing as Tony throughout this. But not really. I'll be trying to, like, customize him. If I can. There's a lot of stuff like emblems and such. I'll be dealing with them later on. I don't know what the point of them is right now. Because right now we're doing tutorials. And I'll do the tutorial as Tony Hawk. So, the tutorial is what you would originally get in this game if you didn't actually install the patch. So, this is our own private barracks. And we're going to be going ahead and beginning the basics tutorial. So, in the basics tutorial, we just learn how to play the game. The simple shit, really. Like moving around. We'll be skating through some rings to showcase how good we are at moving around. We don't even have to jump or anything. But I'm going to jump because I know how to play video games. I'm not stupid. So yeah, this is the 5th game in the series, sadly. I'm sure a lot of you are very saddened by the fact this is the 5th in the Pro Skater series, made by Rubbermoto, a fucking dev company that is highly hated on the whole Tony Hawk game series thing. Because of shit like Pro Skater HD and fucking Ride and such. But they made some seriously bad games. No one liked them at all. And this game was no exception. People fucking hated this game. Here's the thing though. I honestly think that, well, I think they patched it up enough to be decent now. I don't know. Like, I played like a few of the levels in the fucking game. You'll see it later on in parts. And while I do find some of the goals to be either extremely easy or outright bullshit, I haven't really experienced any of the horrible glitches. I've experienced some crashes, but that's about the worst that's ever happened to me with this game. And honestly, that is the basics right there. It's just like grinds and just simple shit, really. Now we completed the basics tutorial. We are now going to be going ahead and doing pretty much the next tutorial. I'll be doing all tutorials, just getting them out of the way, and also getting an achievement in the process of this. So, this is the tricks tutorial. We're going to learn how to do flip tricks and grab tricks and lip tricks, and that's about it. And we did it. Even though I bailed, we did it. By the way, bails are a lot more like you're giving up. They are basically trying to really sell on the ragdoll physics thing, which I don't mind, but the way it's done, it's like when you bail, you just give up all hope of humanity, and you're just like, you flail into the ground, dead. And then you just teleport. You don't actually like fucking, you know, you don't actually like get back up. You just like teleport. Like a white screen happens and you just back up automatically. By the way, the scoring thing in this game is really easy. For the most part. You're gonna see why later on. Because right now we already did the trick tutorial. But yeah, getting a huge score in this game is very easy compared to basically every other fucking one of the Pro Skater games. I mean, the highest we could go is maybe like 500,000 at best in like Pro Skater 4 and such. In this game, though, you can get up to 5 million in not too much effort. Like, seriously, it's really easy to get done. By the way, there's a feature in this called slamming. And I remember this being like a forced thing, like you have to get used to it. You can't turn it off or anything like that. However, you saw in the options that I found an option that lets me basically make it an optional thing by double tapping. So I can now grind normally, and slamming I just have to double tap to get it done. So as long as I'm spamming the fuck out of the grind button, which trust me, if you spam the fuck out of the grind button, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you should stop doing that. Like, unless you're doing that, there's no slamming involved, so I can play the game normally. But as I find out later on, slamming's actually really useful when you do it right. And I will be doing it right. Like, a lot. Oh, by the way, if you go for a combo letter or a skate letter, you don't automatically just get it. It has to fly into you. So, there's a bit of a delay, but it's not too bad. It's not a long delay, it's a very short one, so nothing bad about that, honestly. I like it more when it's instant, but I can work around for this. And, I will say that this area, the barracks, is actually pretty neat. It's like a warehouse sort of level. I don't mind it. It's a simple level, nothing too big, and I like it. It's simple, and it's a neat place to do a tutorial in. Now we have to do a bunch of grabs and hold them for as long as we can, which, like, this is some easy shit. You're gonna find that this game can be a mixed bag with its difficulty. Because a lot of the things you're learning about, you know, like the spin thing, which is an actual thing, you know, pressing L1 and R1 to spin when you could just turn normally. Usually, when you press them both, like the right and then R1, you'll spin faster. If you're doing a trick too, you'll spin much faster that way. I don't think it actually works like that in this game, but I don't know about that. Also, there's reverts in this game, and I've been definitely told that reverts do not work. As soon as you revert, your combo is just fucked. I haven't found that to happen to me. In fact, I found that you can actually fuck up your combo if you're panicking on the manual after a revert. Like, here's what I mean. When you do a revert and you start spamming up and down for a manual, there's a delay in which it can't decide if you're going to do a nose manual or a manual because you're spamming the fuck out of it. So it decides to do a manual after the combo is done because it can't think hard enough because of you spamming the fuck out of it. So what you should be doing is you just should be like pressing it twice and that's it. You should just press up and down or down and up and that's it. You shouldn't be spamming the fuck out of it. You should calm down when doing revert to manual. That's what I've learned from this game, of how the revert works and keeping your combo on it. And I like it. Because then you don't have to, like, be a complete and utter fucking idiot. Oh, by the way, one of the rewards in this game is cards, and the other is emblems. You already know what the emblems are, but we don't know what cards are currently. But we do know that they are something we can unlock, so that's nice. And now it's time for the extras, which is war rides, for instance. And of course, Waller's gonna be next. I mean, so far, I'm liking this tutorial. It's simple. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not too bad. And honestly, I don't mind this tutorial. It's a nice way to get people introduced to the way the game controls. It's a nice bit of practice to get you prepared for what's to come ahead. And there's actually a move that is in this game that was only in the Underground series and American Wasteland, which I have. I have all three. And I like the move, but I'm guessing they added it in because, well, it's become a staple kind of thing to have it, because Skate has it and such, and also because, you know, Underground was very popular. Wall planning. Wall planning is basically an Underground thing, but in this game, it is a Pro Skater thing now, so that's nice. And now spine transfers. Remember how you had to press 2 buttons to do spine transfers? Well, now you only have to press the R2 button. And you don't have to spine transfer much in this game, because you don't really need to do spine transfers to gain points anymore. And in fact, there's not a whole lot of spine transferring that will help you. Oh, and now the special. This is what people got a bit shitty about. I'm not going to make a big deal out of this, but I will say this is a bit of a disappointment. And it's very exploitive too. If you get a special meter filled up and you activate it by pressing the button, which you can only do it after you land your combo because it will not become activated until then, you will basically be able to do any sort of flip, grab, grind, and even even manual fucking special trick simply by doing normal flips. And this will make you do some really good scores in combos because of it. Now, because of this, it is extremely exploitive, because it makes scores a joke. Oh, and by the way, Hawkman. Yes, fucking Hawkman. Remember Pro Skater HD when it had Hawkman? Yeah, this game has it too, and they didn't really improve it at all. In fact, it's exactly the same as the HD version. So, I hate that, but it was a problem in HD, and they didn't really do anything with this one. They just took it from HD. So, I'm still going to be blaming HD, but I'm not going to blame this game for having the shitty Hawkman. I mean, they could have changed it, but, I'm still blaming HD for making it the way it was. Anyway, here's some bios. Here's some things you can learn about Tony Hawk and Riley Hawk, because they're the Hawks, and they're going to be important, and one day Riley Hawk is going to take over the whole Tony Hawk series, and it's going to be called Riley Hawk Pro Skater, whatever the hell, and it's going to be better than Tony Hawk games lately. And then we have, like, all the new guys who we've never heard of before, unless you really know your skating fucking history lately, if you're really in the skating game. Because all I know is Tony, Riley, Chris Cole, and Andrew Reynolds. That's it. Everyone else is a nobody to me. I don't know who any of these motherfuckers are. But apparently a lot of them were from the X Games. So if you've seen the X Games, you already know who they are. I'm not an avid watcher of the X Games, sadly, so I don't know who they are. I do know who Chris Cole is because he's basically a really good fucking skater. And one of my favorites. And I know him from the Skate series, which, you know, there's a lot of skaters that I never heard of from the Skate series that I now know of now, and actually somewhat like. Chris Cole being the one I like the most. He is my favorite. Just look at him. He's awesome. And he's got a lot of good history to him. He's a fucking awesome skater. He's definitely a legend, basically. Or at least up to that point of legend status. Like Tony and Andrew Reynolds. And speaking of Andrew Reynolds has quite a history here of being the only person outside of Tony who has been in all Pro Skater games. Everyone else, from Bob to fucking God, everyone outside of Tony, Andrew Reynolds has been in every Pro Skater game. So that's neat. And it's kind of sad too that all the other skaters never really appeared. Not even Bam. That's sad, really. Anyway, here's Creator Park. We have to choose like a template sort of thing. I don't mind that because you had to do that in the original fucking Creator Park anyway. You had to make templates of the areas and then choose the size of it, and yeah, not really interesting. The whole important part is that you get to make the park. And I guess the bad part about this is that building the park is now shit in a way. I mean, I don't hate it. I think it's actually good simply because there's a lot to it. There's a lot of shit you can put in. But there's some things that are gone, like being able to dig into the ground. You can't really edit much. A lot of what you have is stuff from the actual level, and you can't edit that. You can place shit, but you can't edit the template. But I will say, there's a lot of pieces, and there's a lot of skins for the pieces. There's also a complexity meter, which, you know, is just... It's basically that bar that tells you, hey, this is as far as you can go. This is what pisses some people off about this bit. That bar. You can't place a lot in this game because of the bar. If there was more space in the bar, you could definitely make a lot in your own park. But as it stands, there's gonna be spots where it's gonna be blank. So you're better off doing a small park, because then you can place wherever the fuck you want, and you have a lot of room for that. But if you do a medium, you're gonna have some blank, and if you do a large, there's gonna be areas that have absolutely nothing in it. And that's the sad part. But yeah, there's also no horse. There's no King of the Hill stop points. In fact, there's no second player stop points because it's online only. So everyone can play it. Yeah, this game is an online only game. Fun! But here is literally what is big about this one. There's a lot of shit. There are goals, which is very welcomed. It's not a lot. It's just collecting the tape, which is in this game, because why not? Gotta bring that retroness into this game. Collecting the DVD, because we gotta make it a bit more modern now. Collecting skate letters and collecting combo letters. That is basically all the goals. You can't, like, make score goals. You can't really make a whole bunch of goals. That sucks, but I can see why, because that would be very complex for an online thing. Because before, it was not online. It was, like, very offline, and the maps you would build underground shit with the goals, like, you would usually have to get into a LAN thing in order to play it with friends, or just, like, get 4 controllers or whatever and play it that way. However, here, you're uploading these levels to a fucking cloud of levels. Like a whole system of fucking levels. And having a whole bunch of unique goals and having to have them load up, that would be kind of complicated. Especially when you have to load up, like, all the waypoints and what every goal is. And to be honest, people can probably make it pretty shitty. People could make it really unfun. So, there's that too. Anyway, there's a lot of skins. There's too many skins. Oh my god, there's so many fucking skins. I wish there was more fucking room, but there isn't. Oh, by the way, there are things where, like, this hot dog nut thing is. I like that. Hot dog nut. That's nice. But yeah, there are ones that you can't have any more than one skin on because they're unique. I like that. I like that there's ones that are unique enough to have only one skin and be unique because of it. They're not like all these other ones in which you can put in like a whole bunch of skins, because they are pretty much generics. So you gotta have some variety by putting in a whole bunch of skins for that generic piece. Make it unique, basically. And I like that. I like there's a lot of variety in the pieces. Now then, here is where I get a bit shitty about this. Considering I told you I played some levels, that means I've recorded this shit a long way beyond the line. The place where you upload levels, and the levels that are uploaded there, let me just say that people just make shit and upload it for the achievement. I actually tried to make a okay level in my one. I mean, it's not great. I had to make do with what I could get with that complexity bar bullshit, but I did my best and I made something that's interesting. As best as I could make it interesting. And what I've been playing, because it's an achievement where you have to put 25 fucking levels created by users, I had to rate them, and the rating system is abused, in which everyone is disliking, doing nothing but disliking. I have seen maps that have like 10,000 dislikes, and I've also seen those maps being pretty much every single fucking like genre, every single tag, they are in there because people keep fucking throwing them in those tags and spamming the dislike button like bitches about it. So yeah, it's pretty abused, and you can't really find a good level because of how abused it is. And some of the ones that are highly disliked, they can be alright, they can be decent. It's just that people are just disliking just to get it over with and get the achievement. They don't care about this feature. I care about the creative park feature. I think it's a very fun spot, even though people neglect the fuck out of this feature. And I think this creative park, while not the best, is actually, for Pro Skater, the best one. It would be far fucking better than Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4's park editor, though. If it would let you put in more pieces. If the complexity line wasn't so strict. Wasn't so low. It would actually be the best park editor of the Pro Skater series. But as it stands, Pro Skater 4 wins by just a bit, because you can place a whole bunch of shit and make some pretty unique levels with what you can have. While this game, you know, it has the potential to be able to make a lot of good shit, but the problem is that, well, the complexity line is bullshit. The limit that you can put on these pieces is way too low. And because of this, you can barely put anything in there. So, it makes being able to make really good large parks a fucking pain to do when you are so fucking restricted and limited on what to do. And the worst part is, I also know why I did this, because of servers and trying not to fuck up and clog up the servers and the cloud and all with levels that are just filled with shit and are just made to basically fuck the system up. Like, I understand that. It can be pretty intensive for the servers and such to handle so many uploads of really big maps. But I'm just saying, this limitation sucks. Anyway, you notice there's a lot of fucking sponsored and shit. There's a lot of stuff. I don't mind it. It's actually really neat. You have a lot of variety, a lot of skins, and a lot of stuff to put in. But the problem is that, yeah, it's so much. And you can only put in so little. It's overwhelming. And also the camera glitches out by bumping around while you're moving from skin to skin. I don't know why. But yeah, as for my experiences with this game thus far, this has been pretty stable. I've barely experienced a glitch. I think this game has a bit of a dilemma of its challenge, but it's actually okay in its levels. I like the levels. I know that School 3 is basically School 2 remade, but I don't mind that. It's actually a nice little remake of the fucking School 2. I don't mind it too much. And the barracks is actually pretty good. And the second level, which, trust me, you're seeing right now, except it's very barren, because it's Creative Park, the Bonfire Beach, is actually pretty good as well. I like it. I like these levels. They're not the best. But for what it's worth, they're not terrible. They're not soulless. To be perfectly honest, I think that Robomoto actually tried. It's just that Activision really just wanted to get one more game out before their fucking license died. Because they knew that this series was just done for them. There was no way they could actually make any more money off of this. So, they had to make one more game to try and sell out one more time and get some extra cash before dropping the whole thing. And Robomoto, even though it was dropped, kept patching it and trying to make this game playable. And honestly, from my experience so far, they succeeded. Which is quite the accomplishment for those guys. Considering HD and a lot of the other Tony Hawk games they made, honestly, this is the best they've made of the Tony Hawk games. Like, this is up there as one of the best that they've made. All the other games they made were absolute dog shit, and they didn't care or patch stuff at all. Well, this game, they actually tried. They actually fucking tried with this one. And I've noticed, because even though a lot of the patches were really big, I could notice that what I've seen on YouTube, so many other people, of all the glitches and fucking broken shit, people going through floors and walls, people exploiting the fuck out of the game, and being able to go out of bounds and shit, people constantly having troubles with the controls and getting fucked over because they kept going through ramps and shit. And of course, the online thing being the most wonky piece of crap where everyone's just jumping around and nothing's stable and all. I honestly think that they succeeded in improving the game to the point where it's actually playable now, as I've literally experienced zero of what everyone else experienced months ago. Back when this game was initially released and the patch came in and all, people fucking jumped on this and beat the shit out of it. They were even beating the shit out of Robomodo, trying their best to give some sort of support on fixes while they're patching shit. And while they weren't doing the best, like, they still tried their best at this stuff. They still tried to fix problems. They still tried to help you. That's quite good, considering so many devs out there will never help. They will stay silent and just forget the game ever existed and just take the money and run. Robomodo actually tried in this game. And to me, that is the best thing they have fucking done. Ever since they started making these Tony Hawk games. This is the best they've done. This is their best game of the Tony Hawk series. Because they actually tried to make it better. And they succeeded. HD fucking sucked. Shred, Ride, all that shit, they all fucking sucked. Because they didn't have any effort or love put into it, and Robomodo did fucking nothing to improve it. This game, Pro Skater 5, they actually tried to redeem themselves. Even though they had no reason to, even though their licensing agreement was gone because Activision dropped it completely and never wanted to make another fucking Tony Hawk Pro Skater game again, or any Tony Hawk game again, because the license is now in the fucking abyss for anyone to take. Robomodo still patched this game, still gave technical support for the players, and still tried to make this good. And I fucking applaud them for that. By the way, some of these skins actually change this shit. Like, there's a fucking egg in this one. And there's even a sheep. Like, my god. That's actually kind of funny and neat. I like that. I like how the skins don't just change the color of the thing, but also change the dynamic item. I like that. They put thought into this. And it's actually kind of funny to see. So, good on them for making a decent creative park here. All they had to do was just make the complexity bar bigger so that we can put in more and be able to actually make really good parks instead of limited pieces of shit. And this could beat all the Pro Skater parks. It can't beat Underground. It can't be American Wasteland because they had the goal system as well, and the goal system is the fucking best. But for what it's worth, for what we got here, it's good. It's decent. And for the most part, the game itself is decent as well. This is their latest patch, by the way, 1.4 or 5, I don't remember. This is their latest one, however. So, this is the current Pro Skater 5. This is pretty fucking solid so far. And honestly, I pre-ordered this game. I got a free hat out of my pre-order because the price went down. And they decided to give me back not only some of my money, but also give me a free hat in return. So, thank you Oz Game Shop for that. But seriously, out of all that, I kept this game shelved until I made it to this point in this marathon. until I was done on Ultimate Skater 4 and I could do this game on YouTube for you guys. And I'm glad, because if I did this shit back when the game was utterly broken, yes, I would beat the shit out of it. Yes, it would be unplayable. And yes, I wouldn't really try to beat it. But because it's patched to this point, and because it actually is playable and decent, I am actually going to 100% Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. I'm going to get all the gaps, I'm going to beat all the goals, and I'm going to beat basically all the level emblems. There are level emblems. There are also specific stat emblems. I got them off screen, most of them, because they take a long time. And I won't be getting them all, and they're not required for 100%. But what I'm doing with these levels and shit, getting all the gaps and getting all the shit done, and getting the master emblem, so that I have mastered the game, I have mastered this level. Yeah, that's 100% right there. Mastering every level is 100% to me. So yeah, we're nearly done with this, by the way. We're nearly done with looking through with every piece of the Creator Park. At this point, I uploaded only one level, and I don't think I ever will make another level because, you know, this is too limited for me to actually make anything good. But I did my best. It was called Bonabus, whatever. But there's power-ups in this game. I've only seen them appear in the Creator Park, and they're actually, like, a lot of them. Like, they actually do things. They give you effects, but they actually do things, like an earthquake thing, being able to jump in midair, being able to, like, that's a freeze ability that lets you go fast when you're manually. And then there's the missions thing, the DVD, the VHS, the skate letters, and the combo letters. I was fucking happy to see goals in the Creator fucking Park in this game, because that is something I want to see in later Tony Hawk fucking games with the Park Editor. I want to see goals. Fucking Underground and American Wasteland had goals. I want to see that shit in those games. But that's it. So that is basically it for Creator Park, and that is also it for this part. So next time, on Ultimate Skater 5, we are going to begin the actual game with the barracks. And I'll actually have a customized skater. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you then.